Good evening, Crossroads. We are back with another episode of We Are C2, Getting to Know the Family. And tonight is it's a first in this series so far. We've actually got some young folks that we're introducing tonight. We've covered most of the aged and elderly in the church, all of our deacons. And so now we're kind of embarking into kind of flipping over to the younger generation of the church. You've gotten to meet the Groffs Part 1, Donnie and Julie. They were several weeks ago, and tonight we've got the Groffs Part 2, Buddy and Faith. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Buddy and Faith are familiar faces around the church. They are quite involved and do quite a bit. Now, you guys are the second and third in a family of three, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope is the oldest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And
To make sure he knows it.
Yeah. Oh, she makes sure you know it.
Yep.
She lords it over you. Now, a lot of the questions that I ask typically when we're doing these interviews are not necessarily going to fit, or they're going to change a little bit as we talk to Buddy and Faith. Obviously, we are not interviewing a married couple. We are interviewing a brother and sister. And so some of the questions are going to take a little bit of a different spin. And Buddy and Faith are the first to be interviewed that have almost quite literally been at Crossroads their whole life. Faith, how old were you when you guys first came to Crossroads?
I was probably about 30 years old.
Yeah, and Buddy?
I don't know.
If Faith was 3, you were
5, maybe 6.
okay, yeah.
I'm still 3.5.
Yeah. Yeah, we all know that. So you probably don't remember a whole lot about when you guys first arrived, but what are some of your favorite memories here at Crossroads? Some of the highlights of spending your life in the same church for the most part.
I always remember down at the strip mall playing in the narrow little hallway with Ashlyn and Hannah and their stuffed animals, doing the lawnmower song in kids ministry. That was a highlight.
Yeah.
With Charlotte Juice. That was always a highlight.
Very cool.
Programs. I remember when you guys made me sing Away in a Manger by myself.
I remember that.
And very well you did.
Yeah. Buddy, did we ever make you sing for anything?
No, you made me dance.
Oh. Were you a ribbon dancer?
No. I was solo dancing with a cane and a hat.
I remember that.
I wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
So I made a position so you could do that.
I wanted to do that?
Good. You asked if you could do something like that because you did not want to sing, but you said you would do something like dance. So
Yeah, the tables have turned. Oh, that's good.
Grown more insane or less?
What's that?
Hard to tell if I've grown more insane over the years or less.
Yeah. Do you want us to vote or just move on?
Let's keep that one.
So what's it like? I mean, a lot of our folks may not, they may not have ever had the experience of growing up in church, much less growing up in the same church. What's it like? I mean, spending, Faith, you are about to turn 19 or about to turn 20?
20.
You're about to turn 20. So, 17 years of your life?
Mm-hmm.
Buddy, 17 years of your life. What's that like?
For me, it's I found some of my closest friends here with
Mm,
Ashlyn and Hannah and Sophie. Like any person I've met and become friends with that's gone had a really deep relationship, I guess, I probably met through church. And like I've had friends at school, but like they were just kind of more surface level relationships, but
sure.
it was just really deep relationships at church since we were able to bond over our relationships with Christ.
Mm, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I've gone with the flow most of my life, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's not something I thought about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and if it's all you've known, maybe, yeah, why would you have thought about it? It's if you've just kind of been a stable fixture here all that time. And Faith, you're where do you go to college?
At Northwest Missouri State University.
And that's up in Maryville, right?
Hmm.
And so you finished your first year.
Yes.
So having spent 17 years of your life in the same church, or 16 years of your life in the same church, and then going off to school, what's it like looking for a church?
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Really rough. Like I found a church, it's kind of similar to Crossroads, but I think the hardest part was the relationships because anyone I've met at Crossroads, I've just kind of known my whole life.
Hmm.
And so going to a church where I didn't know anybody was very hard and very, and like when I did start to kind of build those relationships, I'd either come home for a break, but like it wouldn't be like the deep relationships that I know now. It would
Hmm.
still kind of surface level, working our way, and so it was very hard.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then, about the time you were starting to feel a little more a part of things, you got involved in the church, right? What were you doing in the
Yeah.
church?
I'm on the worship team there,
Okay.
and then they have like call it a lunch every Sunday for college students. A free lunch that would stay and meet new people through that.
Well, very cool. Yeah. And so as you worked through the first semester and then into the second semester, being involved in ministry, serving in your local church, then COVID happened.
Yeah, that
And
was a very
yeah. So how long did you stay in Maryville until you came home?
well, we were on spring break when COVID really started to ramp up, and so they extended our spring break by a week, and so we were supposed to do schoolwork that second week, but none of the professors were really prepared for that, so we didn't end up really doing schoolwork. And then that Wednesday of the second week, they announced that we weren't going back, and I lived in the dorms, and so I signed up that Wednesday to move out that Saturday. So it
Wow.
was very quick.
Yeah. Wow. That's big stuff. And what's your degree?
I'm a special education major and an elementary education major.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah. What inspired you to want to go that direction?
Well, I've always loved working with kids, but my mom was the manager of a special needs home for like adults for 5 years, and I spent a lot of time there, and I just felt that God placed that on my heart to work with special needs. And then I also love kids, so just kind of combined the two.
Yeah. Very cool. Buddy, what about you? What about you're out of college now. You have a degree and you've got a big boy job.
Yeah.
So tell us about what you do. What's your degree in? What do you do for a living?
I have a degree in design and drafting, and I have a engineering technology degree with an emphasis in architecture. And essentially, I sit around most of the day and drawing mechanical and other stuff for buildings.
Okay. Yeah. And who do you work for?
I work for Linkford Findler and Associates.
Okay. And that's downtown KC.
Yep.
Are you still working from home?
Nope.
You're back at work now.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very good. Well, your degree sounds very, very intelligent.
It does.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed with the name of your degree, if nothing else, and that you get to pay big bucks to sit around and draw. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, sure. We can say big bucks.
Yeah. So, as far as Crossroads goes, one of the things that has always been really probably all the way back into your childhood, Faith, I would say probably when you transitioned out of our Quest kids from 5th grade into 6th grade, you were probably one of the groups that started serving in ministry right off the bat, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So how did you get involved in ministry, and how have you been involved in ministry over the years?
Well, I got involved with the worship team in middle school playing bass, and then I also helped out with the kids ministry sometimes when needed, just as a helper. And those are pretty much the two main things that I've done and still do.
Yeah. Yeah, and then youth leadership. You were involved in youth leadership as well.
Yeah, the student leaders.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. How about you, buddy?
I remember just one day having someone come up to me and say, "Hey, you can drive. I'm going to teach you how to run lights."
And you were like, okay.
Okay.
Drive? So I'm going to teach you how to run lights?
Yeah, I can make it there myself.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So running lights. Tell the folks what that means. What are you talking about running the lights?
All the stage lights, when they change colors, I'm the one who makes them do that.
Nice. So you program them. You decide what colors are going to go on the walls at what times.
Yeah.
And then when we get the flitter shows, that's you too, right?
Yeah, that's usually me messing up something.
Oh, very good. Very good. And then you're also involved in what other things?
I helped out in youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of our youth staff, very faithful and stable. If I were to choose words that describe the two of you and your participation as part of our church family, Faith, obviously your name says a lot. I would probably use the word joy. You just exude joy. You just seem happy when you're when you're here, when you're involved in ministry, when you're serving. You're just so upbeat and light and carefree and kind of light up a room. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
And buddy, stability.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Solid.
Yeah, you're just solid, stable, faithful. Oh my goodness, just always here and always willing to serve. And if I were to add a second one, unique. Buddy's just unique. He's just, I mean, when you go to describe him, it's just like, he's Buddy. Yeah, he's just Buddy. Donald Groff Jr., but he goes by Buddy. And we love Buddy and Faith. So I know when we did your mom and dad's video, we talked about where they came from. Where you guys were both born here in the Kansas City area, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were already living here before you guys came into the world. So it's the only city, and is Grain Valley the only town you've known?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Other than going to college. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Oh gosh, tell us about your journey of faith, coming to Christ. When did you realize that you had a responsibility to respond? Because again, growing up as kids in the church, you've grown up with Jesus stories. You've grown up with the Bible being taught, the stories unpacked. You've grown up with morals. You've grown up with parents who have raised you in church and raised you with the Bible. Tell us about your personal journey of faith, when you realized you had a personal responsibility to respond to the gospel.
For me, it was probably after my first year at summer church camp at Camp Revo in 6th grade. Like the whole week when you're just like away from the distractions and just like completely immersed in God's word. And like the theme, I think, was like God's love or something. It was kind of hard, it just really resonated with me how it's not easy to follow Christ. It's like a constant pursuit, and it's getting out of your comfort zone, but also it's so worth it. It's kind of what hit me there. And so I think that's when it was really my turning point, was church camp after 6th grade.
Very cool. How about you, buddy?
Oh, how do I answer this? Honestly, it's just been ups and downs throughout life, and all the ups have been whenever I've been able to grow closer to God, and all the downs are when I was struggling.
Yeah. So when did you come to that realization of putting your faith and trust in Jesus for salvation?
Around elementary school, I guess.
Okay. Was it at church? Was it at home? Was it?
Yeah, it was at church.
Okay.
Learning about something on New Year's.
Okay.
Something just stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's usually how it happens. Something sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be, and again, growing up in church and hearing those things all the time, it can be something you've heard before that it sticks. The Spirit takes that and just kind of intensifies it, and you go, whoa, I've never thought of it that way before. I've never realized that's me. I need to respond to that. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So what's a passion that you're currently pursuing in life, or ministry, or both?
Well, teaching for one, because I've always wanted to be a teacher. And it's definitely not easy becoming a teacher, especially right now. Yeah, there are many times I want to drop out and quit, but I know it'll be worth it. So
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, buddy?
Serving, definitely. I just like to help people. Still don't know why.
Yeah. Well, it's probably Jesus, probably the Spirit. Yeah.
Jesus, and I mean, your parents are great examples of that too.
Yeah.
They've always served others, and you've had that example in your life too, and that's it's part of what makes you guys the way you are, is that example. Yeah, Buddy's usually one of the last ones or is the last one to leave on Sundays, and he always makes sure the doors are locked and lights are off, and he's just make sure everybody's taken care of, and
He's the last one to leave a parking lot every service.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just likes to be there in case somebody needs him.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. This is just off the cuff. We, as church leaders, as pastors and shepherds in ministry, and youth pastors, share this discussion. We struggle a lot, and we're even having the discussions with like Miss Amanda in Quest, and Amanda, Daniel, myself, in talking about transitions, kids from elementary age ministry to youth ministry to adult ministry. And we often lose kids. Buddy got a license and got put into ministry. A lot of kids get a license and they leave church. They're no longer tied to mom and dad. They've got mom and dad give them that freedom, and they've got a license. I don't want to go, or they've got other obligations that allow them to be put in place of church. Or now Buddy went to college here in Kansas City, and so never left home, never left Crossroads. Faith's gone off to Maryville, and immediately began looking for another church. What kept you? What kept you guys in your faith, in the faith community, versus kind of what do you think was different that kept you in your faith community?
I think being plugged into ministries like immediately after really helped. But also, again, like it's kind of all we've ever known. And like anyone outside of school that I know was from church, and it kind of still is that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ditto.
Yeah, very good.
And I ingrained it in faith. You got to find a church. You got to find a church when you go off to college. Have to find a church. Get involved in a church. Get involved.
Do either of you want to share a most embarrassing moment? Or share the other's most embarrassing moment? No, don't do that. Don't do that. You don't have to if you don't want to. This is going to air on NBC next week.
I know for me, one of the most embarrassing times of my life is when I wore a trench coat everywhere.
But you voluntarily did that.
I did that by myself, and it still embarrasses me.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That was a phase, wasn't it? I do remember that phase.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're embarrassed now by doing that, right?
Oh yeah, I still think they look cool. But...
Our son has one of those kind of phases where I don't know if you guys remember, he went through a hat phase where he wore a fedora or wore different hats, and he looks back and goes, "Why did you guys let me do that?"
Yep.
He thought he was cool during the time.
He did, yeah.
I guess this is not necessarily at church, but when I was homeschooled by Sharon, she was like, you can't wear PJs. And so I was like, okay, but I wore sweatpants every single day. I was like, I can work with this.
Yeah.
I wore sweatpants every single day for no reason. So any pictures from middle school, I'm probably in sweatpants.
You didn't allow PJs? Not even PJ pants?
Nope.
Wow. Now she
No,
did allow PJ days though, right?
Yeah, we had PJ days. People that don't know, I homeschool Faith through middle school. So I had Faith for 3 years that were absolutely amazing. She became my daughter in a lot of ways. I shared her, I guess, with Julie.
Yeah.
But and fun fact, her birthday is on the exact same day as our son's, just a year apart. But
So you're
yeah,
kind of like twins from a different year
and a different
and a different mother. Yeah.
But yeah, we had, that was one thing, and I always had with my kids, we had our things that we did. You get up, our kids they'd have to clean the room, they'd have to get dressed, and then they'd get breakfast, and then we'd start school. So when I started homeschooling Faith and actually another girl, well, actually quite a few kids.
Yeah. At different times. Yeah, you've had four or five other kids that she's homeschooled. Yeah.
But yeah, so PJs weren't allowed. But we would have PJ days, and we would have, movie days
field
in there.
trips and
Field trips. We have a lot of great memories.
Daniel was the school counselor and the
Mhm.
school nurse.
Mhm.
The nursler.
The nursler, yeah. Yeah. So of course, our twin girls, Sharon homeschooled them. Our son Brian, homeschooled them. But Faith got a luxury that none of our kids ever got. Faith got to be homeschooled by Sharon all by herself for 1 year.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
I never had just one child.
That
I would
was
get my work done a lot faster.
yeah.
A whole lot. I didn't have any other distractions like Ashlyn to
Yeah.
distract you, or Brian.
Or caterpillars or whatever was around me.
Right. Yeah, we're going to assume it was a successful year, although it was the last year for Sharon to homeschool and the last year for Faith to homeschool. So we're just going to assume it was a great last year.
But my most embarrassing memory of those times is trying to hide from you and Ashlyn in Walmart as you're going around.
I remember that. We would make scenes at Walmart. We'd like act like we were T-Rexes walking around, and then we'd scream, "Don't be alarmed, we're not real T-Rexes." Or we were just crazy.
Yeah.
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 No, it was great years, great memories, and obviously I did okay because you're out of high school and on to college now. So, phew.
Yeah. It's nice of you to take credit for that.
Well, oh well.
Goodness, yeah. So, fun facts. Let me ask this first. Are you a leader or a follower?
I don't know, Sharon, what do you think? I think in some situations I'm a leader, but in others I can be a follower.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Buddy, I don't know if I could peg you.
Buddy's in
Because again, you really do. You just kind of operate in your own lane.
He's normally
I'm my own leader and my own follower.
There you go. Yeah.
That's so good. I love it. That's awesome.
Oh, goodness. That's great. All right. So what's your favorite food?
Chick-fil-A.
Most food.
Most food. Yep. Okay. Chick-fil-A and most food.
Yeah, and we do have to say, for homeschool, Chick-fil-A was our cafeteria, and so a lot of days that's where we'd end up is Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that was during the years that I was working at Chick-fil-A. You guys were coming in 2 and 3 days a week while I was there. Let's see. I'm not going to ask favorite teacher and why, for obvious reasons. At least for Faith anyway. What are your favorite 2 movies?
Ooh.
Cinderella is one of them.
Okay.
I loved Cinderella growing up, and I still do. I guess I could say Hamilton now, because
it is a movie now. Yeah, I wasn't terribly impressed. But that's okay.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
You know what's really bad? I wasn't really impressed with the content, but I can't stop singing the songs.
They're so
I've watched it one time and the songs are stuck in my head. It's crazy. Yeah. So very catchy tunes. So Cinderella and Hamilton, what about you, buddy?
The Iron Giant. And the second one's the hardest. Because that one changes a lot.
Oh, does it? So
Yeah.
What is your second favorite movie today?
Today, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I expect nothing less. Oh, that's great. All right. Dog or cat people?
Dog.
You see, I like dogs, and I actually like cats because cats will take care of themselves. But I'm also very allergic to cats.
Okay. Okay. So
So
you guys don't have cats.
no.
All right. You've got Winnie. How old is Winnie now?
Probably like 13, 14. She's still kicking it.
Yeah. Winnie has been through it too.
I remember when you
Oh.
guys got Winnie.
I was in first grade.
Wow. Yep. She's been a good girl. Good girl. She's been through quite a bit too.
Yeah.
Hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hamburgers.
Ham dogs.
Ham dogs. Italian food or Mexican?
Italian.
Yeah, I gotta go with Italian.
Okay. Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
Mountain vacation, country vacation, or beach vacation?
I would say beach, but that's because I go to the mountains every year. So, or I could do mountains by the beach. One of the two.
Okay. Yeah.
Mountains.
Okay. What's your favorite vacation ever? Favorite vacation you've ever taken?
Europe, when I went on a European cruise.
Yeah, and that was you and your mom and
Yeah, and my grandma and a few of my cousins.
yeah, and some cousins and aunts. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a fun trip. What about you, buddy?
Death Valley. Just that single day of the trip.
Yeah.
Going to Death Valley.
Some great memories.
Yeah. They also had cool looking rocks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, do you have a unique hobby?
Does fluctuating between hobbies count as a hobby?
Probably. Sure. What are some of the hobbies you've had in the past?
I like collecting rocks.
From Death Valley?
I just still read occasionally. It's harder to pick up a book now.
Why is that?
Time.
Just work.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, this kind of started when like the stay-at-home order went into place. I like painting. I'm not good at it, but I enjoy it.
Well, if you enjoy it, that's all that matters. So am I going to get a picture? Are you painting a picture for me, Faith?
I can. I still have some canvases to use up.
Do what?
I still have canvases to use.
There you go.
But lower your expectations.
I was your teacher. I don't think we ever did art, though, did we? Because I'm not a painter either. So, girl, it's all okay.
Yeah. Okay. Final question. On as far as favorites, cake or ice cream?
I'd probably go with ice cream.
What flavor?
I like mint chocolate chip, or cookie dough.
Cake.
Cake.
Yeah.
What flavor?
I specifically like yellow cake with chocolate frosting.
Ooh. Yeah, I think I would give a buddy answer here. Cake and ice cream.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ice cream cake.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or ice cream cake.
yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I would probably stick with ice cream though. I'm an ice cream, especially now that I don't eat it. I really miss ice cream in a big way. We were somewhere last week. Oh, we were at a graduation open house and they had homemade vanilla ice cream and I had some.
Me too.
Yes, I did.
I did. You can't pass up homemade ice cream. I mean, you can, but
yeah. So, what advice would you guys give to our middle schoolers or our older kids, as kids that have grown up in church? What would be your advice to them what not to miss out on in the next several years of their experience with Jesus and the church.
Well, make sure they get involved with the church, because that's the way that it's going to help keep you accountable and keep you involved.
Yeah.
Because if not, if it's easy to slack off if you're not involved in something.
Yeah, easy to slack off, and easy if you're not involved at church, you're going to get involved somewhere else, right? And then that can become a deterrent to being with your church community. You know, we're made for community. We're all going to find community somewhere. If we don't find it at church, we're going to look for it somewhere else. It's good advice. Good advice. Anything from you, buddy?
Go to youth.
Go to youth.
More fun when there's more people.
Yeah. Yeah. Daniel's a good, passionate leader, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Stable. He's another just stable and consistent, fun to be around. He doesn't get worked up about much. That's kind of a good trait in youth ministry. Well, cool. Well, thank you guys for doing this with us tonight. I've had fun. I hope you guys have. I hope it's enlightening, and hopefully we'll get some more of our young adults to participate in upcoming days and kind of weave in some of the, the middle age, the older, the younger, kind of weave all those into the next several weeks as we continue in our series. We are C2, allowing you to get to know the family here at Crossroads, and hopefully this has been helpful for those of you that are watching, and you've gotten to know Buddy and Faith a little bit, and that helps you get to know your church a little bit more as well. Thanks for being with us tonight, and we'll see you all this Sunday. God bless you.